The simple 15-minute practice that could transform your health. What if I told you there's a completely free therapy that could reduce your stress, improve your sleep, decrease inflammation, and help you feel more balanced, and all you need to do is take your shoes off? Hello, you amazing human. Today we're exploring something called grounding or earthing, and the science behind this ancient practice might completely shift how you think about your connection to the natural world. Picture this: you kick off your shoes, step onto grass, sand or soil, and within minutes, your entire nervous system begins to calm. Your stress hormones start to rebalance, inflammation in your body begins to reduce, and you start to feel more centered and peaceful. What if I told you this isn't just hippie wishful thinking, but actually backed by genuine scientific research? I invite you to consider that we might be living disconnected from one of our most fundamental sources of healing: the earth itself. We spend our days in shoes with rubber soles, walking on concrete, living in buildings, completely insulated from the natural electrical charge of the planet we live on. What if this disconnection is affecting our health in ways we're only just beginning to understand? Here's what the research is revealing about grounding. Studies show that earthing stabilizes the physiology at the deepest levels, reduces inflammation, pain, and stress, improves blood flow, energy, and sleep. The earth carries a subtle electrical charge, and when we make direct contact with it, skin to earth, our bodies can absorb these electrons. Scientists suggest that by touching the ground, you can absorb these electrons to neutralize free radicals and reduce inflammation in the body. Think of it like natural antioxidants, but instead of taking a supplement, you're literally plugging into the Earth's healing energy field. One of the most fascinating areas of research focuses on how grounding affects our stress response. Studies indicate that grounding the human body to Earth during sleep reduces nighttime levels of cortisol and resynchronizes cortisol hormone secretion more in alignment with the natural 24-hour circadian rhythm profile. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone, and when it's out of balance, it affects everything: your sleep, your mood, your immune system, your ability to heal. What's beautiful about this research is that it shows grounding doesn't just make you feel better in the moment, it actually helps restore your body's natural rhythms. Many people who practice grounding report better sleep because grounding can help regulate cortisol levels, leading to deeper, more restorative sleep cycles. Now, you might be wondering about something I've heard mentioned. Could grounding actually help with jet lag? The research here is quite intriguing. Scientific studies demonstrate that grounding during sleep can reduce nighttime cortisol levels and resynchronize cortisol secretion to align more closely with the natural 24-hour circadian rhythm. Think about what jet lag really is. It's your internal body clock being completely out of sync with your environment. Research suggests that grounding can also readjust your cortisol levels, which supports you getting back on a regular sleep schedule and feeling less sluggish. What if by connecting to the Earth's natural rhythms in your new location, you could help your body adjust more quickly? But the benefits might extend far beyond sleep and stress. Research shows that grounding reduces pain and alters the numbers of circulating neutrophils and lymphocytes, and also affects various circulating chemical factors related to inflammation. Inflammation is at the root of so many health challenges, from chronic pain to autoimmune conditions to heart disease. What's remarkable is how quickly these changes can occur. Some studies showed that people could experience benefits in 30 minutes or so. Imagine that. Just half an hour of barefoot contact with the earth and your physiology begins to shift. Now, from a spiritual and energetic perspective, I invite you to consider what might be happening here. We often talk about feeling grounded when we feel centered and stable. What if this isn't just a metaphor? What if there's a literal energetic exchange happening when we connect with the earth? Think about it. Everything in the universe is energy vibrating at different frequencies. The earth has its own electromagnetic field, a steady, calming frequency that's been constant for millennia. We evolved as part of this system. Our ancestors walked barefoot, slept on the ground, lived in constant connection with this natural electrical field. But modern life has insulated us from this connection. We wear rubber-soled shoes that block the electrical connection. We live in buildings that separate us from the Earth's field. We've essentially unplugged ourselves from a fundamental source of balance and healing. When you reconnect with the Earth's energy field, you might notice that your own energy begins to settle and harmonize. It's like tuning a musical instrument. When you connect with the Earth's steady frequency, your own energetic field begins to come back into tune. From Abraham Hicks's perspective, we might consider that the Earth itself is a manifestation of pure positive energy. When we connect with it directly, we're aligning ourselves with that stable, loving vibration. We're literally grounding ourselves in the frequency of well-being. You might also notice that when you're grounded, both literally and figuratively, you're more present, more centered, more able to access your inner wisdom. The constant buzz of mental chatter might quiet down. The anxiety and overwhelm might soften. You might find yourself naturally dropping into a more peaceful state. So how might you incorporate grounding into your life? It's beautifully simple. Find a patch of grass, sand, and soil, or even concrete, though natural surfaces are preferred. Remove your shoes and socks. Simply stand, sit, or walk barefoot for at least 15 minutes. You might start by just standing still and feeling the connection. Notice the temperature of the ground, the texture beneath your feet. Take some deep breaths and imagine roots growing from your feet deep into the earth, anchoring you, stabilizing you. If you can, try to make this a daily practice. Morning grounding might help you start your day feeling more centered and calm. Evening grounding might help prepare your nervous system for restful sleep. You could ground while you have your morning coffee, while the children play, while you're on a work call. There's no special technique required, just skin-to-earth contact. If you're traveling and dealing with jet lag, you might try grounding as soon as you arrive at your destination. Step outside, find some grass or sand, and spend 20 to 30 minutes barefoot, helping your body's rhythms attune to the new location. For those who live in cities or climates where outdoor grounding isn't always possible, there are grounding mats and sheets available that can plug into the ground port of electrical outlets, theoretically providing similar benefits indoors, though nothing quite compares to the full-body experience of being outdoors in nature. You might also combine grounding with other practices. Try grounding meditation. Sitting barefoot on the earth while you meditate. Try grounding walks, slow, mindful walks barefoot through grass or sand. Try grounding gratitude, expressing appreciation for the earth's support while you're connected to it. What's beautiful about this practice is how it reminds us of our fundamental connection to the planet that supports us. We're not separate from nature. We are nature. We're not visitors on this earth. We are part of it. And when we remember this connection, when we literally plug back into the source, our bodies and spirits remember how to be well. I invite you to consider that maybe the solutions to many of our modern health challenges aren't necessarily found in more complex technologies or expensive treatments. Maybe sometimes the most profound healing comes from the simplest practices, like taking our shoes off and remembering our connection to the earth that gave us life. You might notice that after grounding regularly, you feel more stable emotionally, more resilient to stress, more connected to your intuition. You might sleep better, feel less anxious, experience less physical discomfort. But perhaps most importantly, you might feel more at home in your own body and more connected to the natural rhythms that support all life. This practice costs nothing, requires no special skills, and is available to almost everyone. It's a reminder that healing doesn't always have to be complicated or expensive. Sometimes the most powerful medicine is literally right beneath our feet. So I invite you, sometime today, if possible, to kick off your shoes, step outside, and spend just 15 minutes connecting with the earth. Notice how you feel before and after. Pay attention to any shifts in your energy, your mood, your sense of well-being. You might discover that this simple practice becomes one of your most treasured forms of self-care. You might find that in our increasingly disconnected world, grounding helps you remember what it feels like to truly come home to yourself. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonates, drop a comment with any epiphanies. These videos are made as a guide to help you reconnect with knowledge kept within you. Take what resonates within you and release the rest. Follow the page for more content and sign up for the Patreon for the opportunity to ask more personal questions and also hear longer form answers to all the biggest questions. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep shining your light.